What's up, my boss babies? Today I'm going to be playing in this cute little body wave wig. This one comes from Rechoo. They sent it over in this cute little box with this cute little wig caps. This is the wig here, 2 combs in the front, 1 in the back. It's body wave 18 inches, and what's even more cool is that the lace is transparent and undetectable. So since they gave me transparent lace, I decided to play with the lace and do some bleaching of the knots. So I'm going to use my BW bleach, and this is what it looks like fresh out of the pack. I like this one because it's the most affordable at Sally's, but it does have a lot of kickback and a lot of dust, which is why my hands are so dusty. Make sure you're using gloves. Also, I'm going to be using a little bit of a 30 volume developer. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I normally would use a 40. A 30 is a much safer option just because it won't process too fast to over bleach your knots. Now, as you guys can see here, I added just a little dab of the 30 and that still was too much. So I went back in and added a little bit more powder just because I wanted to thicken it up. And that's the key to it, is to make sure that you get the consistency that you like, and if you don't, you know, you add more powder or you add more developer until you get a nice thick consistency that you feel comfortable with. So next we're going to flip the wig inside out, and look, the lace is already a gorgeous color, so this is going to be so bomb. Make sure you are wearing your gloves because if this bleach does get on your skin, it burns like crazy, and even after you wash your hands, you're still gonna feel a burning sensation. It just feels like you need to go to the emergency room or something like that. Just don't try it. It doesn't feel good. Now, it may look like I'm pressing hard, but I am lightly tapping the product onto the lace. If you press too hard, you will push this white creamy bleach through the lace and onto the roots on the other side, and then you'll have blonde roots, and that never ever looks good. So I left the product on for about 20 minutes. I never really go over 20 minutes. Even if some of the knots are not like 100% bleached, I don't like to go over that because I feel like after that is when it starts to look a little bit too orange. You see how it's tinted on the lace? Also notice how amazing that lace looks. It looks nice and pre-plucked, not too thick and dense, perfect for a natural feel. And I'm giving you a few more shots of what the lace looks like. This is going to be so gorgeous. You're not going to need any powder or anything else, just the natural lace itself. Now, this here is a poor representation of how I do my hair, but you know, sometimes you got to thug it out. I do 2 French braids. It's the easiest to maintain. I'm able to get to my hair, I'm able to co-wash it and put it right back. And you see when they're fresh, they still lay flat. I just need to be a little bit more neat, right? Now, I'm going to be using something new. I'm going to be using stockings, actual stockings from Walgreens. Now, my Walgreens is a little bit smaller, so they didn't have like a huge selection. So they had that dark pair and then this brown pair. I assumed the dark pair would be better, but actually the brown pair is a little bit closer to my complexion. And if anything, I can add foundation powder on top if it's a little bit too light or a little bit too red. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to take and pull it further over so that all of that band in the front is completely in front of the hairline. And I'm only getting the regular cap. The band itself is way too tight, so you don't want to put that band on your hairline just because the band itself will like kill your hairline, sis. It's really tight. So I did 1 layer of Got to Be Glued, and I'm going to come back after it dries. I was like, is this safe? Like, is it supposed to be this tight? So I went ahead and grabbed the scissors and kind of like opened it up a little bit. I didn't want to completely open it until it's dry, but bro, it was too tight. I was not gonna last. So that feels a little bit better. It gave me a little bit of slack, and I'm just pushing it in and making sure that product, that Got to Be Glued spray, is going to be, you know, against my skin and hairline. Now, I waited about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, and then I came back and I just went ahead and added a second layer. Now, I think I went and watched TV and ate some food and I completely let it dry. You want it to be completely dry before you start to cut, because if it's still wet, you're not going to get the results you want. So be careful with your scissors. You just want to kind of cut around, but you don't want to cut your skin. I think every time I do this, I cut myself a little bit, not to the point that I bleed, but like I'll nick my ear or something like that. So just be very, very careful and make sure your scissors are not too extremely sharp. You can see right there how it pinches my skin because it's completely dry. Now, majority of people, will you do this technique with braids like cornrows? I do have cornrows. I only have 2, but most people would do like a full braid up with this, and you guys can see I just did a quick you know, 2-braid cornrow situation, and it still works just fine. So you don't have to go and get your hair professionally braided if you don't have the time or the funds to do so, or you just don't feel like doing it yourself. You can do 2 cornrows. You probably can even do a low bun. It just won't be as flat, you know what I mean? Make sure you get around the ears. You don't want to put the bulk of the cap like beneath your ears and have it like just sitting there. You want to cut off all the excess cap as much as you can all the way around, again without cutting yourself. And as you guys can see, I'm a little bit in front of my hairline. I do have a rather large forehead, so I choose to always go in front of my hairline just because I am afraid of ripping my hairline out. Like, I just don't feel comfortable sitting any product, any glue, any spray on top of my actual hairline. I never have, and I probably never will. And now I'm just going again and touching it up. I'm not necessarily perfect at this, and I'm getting some selfies for the thumbnail, but I'm not perfect at this. I kind of feel like at the end I had to touch it up because it kind of was rolling back in small places. Off camera I also added an elastic band, so this one's going to fit super snug, and this is pretty much what we get. I know I like the fact that the hairline on the cap is not, or not the hairline, but the cap, the front of it is not perfectly across, because it's going to be a little less detectable when it's kind of, not necessarily scraggly, but just not a straight across blunt cut, you know what I mean? And this wig fits super perfect. You can see a little bit of shininess in front of the cap, and that is pretty much that excess got to be glued spray. You can take a cotton swab and some alcohol and rub that to clean it up. I'm going to be also using got to be glued to bond the wig down. Although this is a glueless application and it fits snug enough that I don't need it, I always do it and it just gives me a little extra comfort, so I'm going to do it. Now I went ahead and separated the baby hair. I tweezed it out very minimally, and then I cut down the baby hair to be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch long. I went ahead and sprayed a nice thick coat of that got to be glue spray. I'm giving it about 15 to 20 seconds to dry or get tacky, and then I'm going to sit the lace right on top and use a rat tail comb to go ahead and to, you know, press that in. Now you can go ahead and put a scarf on and just kind of let that bond down if you want, but at this time I've done so much work and I've spent so much time on this wig that I'm just ready to be done. Also, I'm sure you've seen it at the very beginning and you'll see it again at the end. I did not tweeze out the hairline as much as I could have. I definitely am going to go back off camera and do so, just because it's not as natural. It's a more full look. Now, if you're scared to tweeze out your hairline, this is definitely an option, you know, and you can see how it will look if you choose not to tweeze out your hairline. But of course, if you go ahead and thin it out a little bit more, it will look more realistic. Other than that, I am completely impressed with this transparent lace. It looks amazing. I had to bleach the knots today because I love this lace. It looks so good. If I did not mention, this wig is linked in the description bar. They did give me a coupon code for you guys. It's ASHB, and you can enter that and get 10% off at checkout. No minimum required. They also have some holiday deals going on, so make sure you go ahead and take advantage of those. And also make sure you slay your baby hair to the gods. Now I'm going to go ahead and part her, and look how much parting space you get, and look how natural it looks. I am in love! This appears to be about 8 inches of parting space. It looks like it's more than 6. I'll have to go ahead and check the website. Let's go see what they're talking about. So I thought about styling this wig in a few different ways, and I couldn't really come up with anything. Now that I'm done, I kind of wish I would have done some braids or some twisties going backwards or something, just to show off the amazing parting space. You can also tweeze out the parting space if you want it a little bit wider. You can tweeze out the hairline if you want it a little bit wider. Me, I just showed the hairline and the parting off by just adding a little bit of foam lotion to the crown of my head and using the side of the hot flat iron to go ahead and like press and seal that in, and that's just gonna make the hairline and, you know, the top of the hair look super flat, flawless, finished. You know what I'm talking about. As far as the length of the hair, I did use some product. All I used was wet. I used the Sally's version of that, and that pretty much works amazing. And this is pretty much a final shot of my quick and easy install. Absolutely love the way it came out. Super flawless and ready for whatever. What's up, guys? So I just finished slaying this gorgeous wig. As you guys seen in the video, I bleached the knots. I kind of like mini style tweezed the hairline. And most importantly, I did the stocking cap method. Now, I don't do this very often because normally I just wear a darker wig cap that's pretty much darker than my skin tone. Either that really dark chocolate brown or black. And I find that that's the best way to not be able to see that cap like in your parting or whatever, but I just don't always have the time for the stocking cap method. Even though it does last a few days, I did go ahead and add some powder to the parting with this one just because I'm so used to it. I bleached the knots, but I just sometimes feel like the powder goes a step further. This one is super gorgeous. I love how much parting space you get. I believe this is more than 6 inches. This is like 8 to 9 inches. I'll leave the full details on this wig in the description bar for you guys to know exactly what it is, what density and all that stuff. But she is super gorgeous. Again, I did do the stocking cap method in an effort to show you guys how to take your wigs to the next level. You can always tweeze it out a little bit more. I do think that I put a little bit too much baby hair in the front. Also, this hair is going to look super natural. Now, what I do like about this wig is that it's a nice natural density. It's not too thick or heavy or overbearing. So if you're someone who's in school or just want something a little bit more lightweight and natural, this is definitely for you. You can go ahead and grab a ponytail holder and make a cute ponytail, so you guys can see. And I love the way the wig lays. Again, if you want it to be a little bit more natural, definitely go in and tweeze along the hairline even more. You guys can see this one lays super cute, and that was super simple. You guys can see it goes up in a ponytail, super sweet and super neat. Make sure that when you do your ponytails, you are tucking that comb into your elastic band, or if you don't have an elastic band, make sure that you're at least using the braids. And I kind of just will pull along the sides to make sure that the elastic band and the edges of the wig are being covered. And then, you know, use a mirror to check the other mirror. So you just kind of take a handheld mirror and stand like this in front of the mirror and see that everything is okay back there, or like me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out this hair. Of course, I have it linked in the description bar for you guys. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.